welcome back to our channel. Thanks for sticking around. If you're new here, we are a married couple. She stalked me.
Kinda. That's actually true.
I was joking, but okay.
Yes. I did stalk her on Twitter, and that's where we met. And
You did stalk her on Twitter?
I did stalk her on Twitter.
Oh my gosh, I literally thought you said something else.
I did stalk her on Twitter.
What?
So we are going to listen to an interview that was so freaking iconic, people could not handle it.
Okay.
I mean, it was just an insight like we've never heard before. We're talking about Viv and Lisa. Visa, as some people want to call them, very few people want to call them. Okay, so we're gonna listen to this video. Right now, so Arsenal, they're both obviously in Arsenal. They killed, who did they kill?
Who did they kill?
West Ham last week.
But they're wanted for murder, y'all.
They killed West Ham last week, 9-0, and they'll do it again. And they killed them last week. They looked great. Viv looked great. We also saw that Visa moment at the very end of the game where we were talking about, we saw that moment at the end of the game. We were wondering what they were talking about. It looked like a moment.
They messaged us and told us that. Just kidding.
So their moment last week at the Arsenal game, and it was, I thought it was a moment, you know, everyone knows they're together. I mean, they're a public couple. So I think the eyes are always on them. My eyes are, that's who I gravitate to because I want to like watch their interactions. But this interview, they talk a lot about their dynamic, playing, not playing, what it's like to be with each other. I will say, if you are 2% a Lisa fan or 2% a Vivianne fan, you have to listen to this interview. We will link
it. What about 4%?
No, well, that's the minimum amount.
Okay, what about 1.5?
Yeah, well, no, only 2% are higher. You have to listen to this interview. I'll link it down below. We just heard so much we had not heard before. And
yes, we did.
And I loved it. So we're gonna listen, and I'm taking out some parts of the interview.
I've not heard this before.
A lot of the parts is just about them being a couple because they haven't talked as in depth about being a couple as they did in this interview. So we're gonna listen to that.
Okay.
So this one is good. This first clip is going to be about the interviewer saying, are they couples goals? You know, they do everything together. They live together.
Obviously they know
they work together. Everything together. And what is that like? Okay. Here we go.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good, and I'm quite excited about this because you two are like couples goals. Like, you know, you play in the same team, you live together, you do everything together.
24/7, full on.
That's right. You've been a bit too quiet, Lisa.
She's not sick of me yet, so that's good. That's always a plus.
It must be the barrier, the language barrier, which, by the way, doesn't exist because you sound more Glaswegian every time I speak to you.
That's good though.
It's starting to change ever so slightly. How are you two getting on? You've had a busy lockdown.
Been fab, to be fair. We've had a great time. We were obviously up in Scotland with my mum and dad for 10 weeks. Just living life like without football, which was actually really refreshing. Obviously spending that much time with family. Obviously I had Viv with me, which was good. It kept me busy. Personal trainer.
Yeah, personal trainer. Enjoying like being in Scotland and being outside and just stuff that you take for granted, really. Did it feel like a change in your relationship because the pressure of football wasn't on?
Nah, not really. I think we're quite good in just coming home and be like, okay, that's football, like that's it, done. I think just as Lisa says, like we've not spent that much time at home forever. Like obviously for me, being with her mum and dad for 10 weeks was quite like a big thing sometimes, but I absolutely enjoyed it. Like I love Scotland, so I can definitely see myself moving there too later.
She's more Scottish than me, by the way. I swear.
So yeah, just in that way, like it was just different. And obviously at one point you start missing football, but to be honest, like I think we all really needed it. So really enjoyed it.
Good, so good. And then you went over to your home and talk to me about then your family life. I know you're very close to your brother and your parents from what I see on social media. Was it nice getting that quality time back home?
It was a bit harder, to be honest, to be at home in Holland as in Scotland. I think Scotland we just had so much freedom. Like we could go out, we could go on hikes. Being back home, like it felt a bit cramped sometimes, but it was absolutely amazing to just see my parents, to see my grandma. Obviously like we've had quite a rough year with my granddad passing away, so it was just really nice to actually be at home, spend the time with my brother. Like he ended up training with us.
That was really good too.
Yeah, which was just fun, like just to play football with the three of us. So it was really nice, really enjoyable.
What is this accent that
Viv has?
Viv has.
It's like
I cannot get over it.
It's half Scottish, it's half Dutch.
At first I was like, okay, who's talking at first? At first I was like, okay, that's Lisa talking.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And then when I thought it was Viv talking, it sounded different. But then I was like, is that Lisa? Because
They're morphing into one voice, one person.
God.
She sounds very.
Do we talk like each other?
God, I don't think so.
I was shook. It was like Dutch.
With a Scottish
with a
accent.
It's so cute.
It's cute. It's
Slash
cute.
strange.
It's very strange, yeah.
I love it. I love
'Cause,
it.
I mean, but what they said, I mean, they lived in Scotland for the quarantine. They got on so well. They never.
That's understandable that she's developing that accent because the Scottish accent is like so strong.
Yeah, it's very strong.
It's like the strongest type of coffee every day.
Yeah.
But like here in New England,
Yeah.
like people have strong accents here.
They spent.
Yeah.
They said they spent so much time together. They're just, if anything, they're getting along even better than they were. They've enjoyed this time so much, and so that's good to hear.
Good.
And she said that she liked being in Scotland because maybe it was like slower pace of life. You know what I mean? Than
Well,
the
Scotland
Netherlands.
seems very beautiful.
Beautiful,
like
and
very
calm.
open.
Mhm,
like
mhm.
the fields, the sheep. Okay, I don't
Yeah.
know. Are there sheep? Maybe there.
Maybe
I see
sheep.
pictures. But okay. I cannot imagine quarantining with anyone's parents.
Parents, I know. I could
Not my parents. Not your parents.
I couldn't
Not.
imagine. I mean, if you
Not
had
even
to,
famous parents.
you know what it is though.
Big though.
We have like we don't like being
I
around
don't like.
people.
I'm scared of parents.
Yeah.
Like I never liked being around any parents.
So we're gonna listen here about, they're talking about being on Arsenal and how is Arsenal a close knit team. So
Okay.
let's see what they have to say about that.
Okay.
And here we go.
Start next week.
Speaking about then being back with the girls, do you click with other teammates or do you guys just kind of, are you on the same page with everybody in your team?
Yeah, just about. I'd say there's obviously people you get on with better than other people, but I mean, I think we are a really close-knit team, and it's funny because when I go into training, like, it's not that I really spend that much time with Viv. Like, I don't really see you. I do see her on the pitch, but I mean, we chat to really everyone. We're very sociable, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Lisa definitely.
yeah,
Lisa is
I'm
like one of
definitely
the
You
big.
like to
the
chat.
most- yeah, I like to chat. I do. I like to chat. Very chatty. So are you, by the way. Just saying.
I mean, Lisa's just like, she dances around in the gym, like she makes people happy. That's not me, by the way, I can't dance. But yeah, we're just fine with everyone, really. I think we've got a good group of people. Obviously, as Lisa says, like, you've got your mates. Like, I've played with Jill Roard since I was 12 years old, so like, you've got that connection more. But yeah, we've played with a lot of the girls at Bayern Munich before, and obviously, like, we speak German as well, so like, that's a connection as well that you're gonna have. But yeah, it's really, we've got a good team.
So they talk in there about the fact that, the interviewer asked them, that kind of like what we talk about, the dynamic of them being a couple, and do you guys get on with your teammates? And they make it clear you don't get along with every single person the same way, but like Lisa said, she rarely sees Viv training. She'll train with her, but
Well, what are they really gonna say?
not like they self-isolate. Some people say
Like it's us against the team.
no,
Oh,
but like
pulling this off.
like I've heard the thing where some people think certain couples will self-isolate, and it's not purposeful. It just happens. Or like how we, when you and I went to the She Believes Cup, Kristen and Tobin did not leave each other's side, like at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? They were glued together.
I get that, but also like, because I feel like if you and me were on the team, I would like abandon you
You do, Sarah.
and like be with everyone else.
Yeah, I think, and
Just in a way, like
yeah.
Well, I mean, I would spend time with you too.
Well,
but
I think it's always that optics of you don't want to look like you're isolating on
Yeah.
purpose. It might just happen naturally, but it's just like I want to go. She sees Viv every single day when she goes home. She wants to talk to her other friends.
yeah, exactly.
She wants to see her other friends. So that is interesting. So they made it clear. We talk to everyone. We don't isolate. And like I said, a lot of times you don't isolate on purpose. It's like almost like
It's just I know the word
involuntary,
Yeah.
subconscious. You isolate.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next clip, they're going to talk about they met in Germany, but they're going to kind of talk about their days when they played in the Bundesliga. How do you say it? How do you say it?
Bundesliga.
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 They're going to talk about how they.
You knew it last
I
video.
know how they met in Munich and what it was like, because we just reacted to a Crasham video where Ashlyn Harris said she wasn't vibing with the way Germany, like the way of life, and
Yeah.
they're going to talk about it here that Lisa had a hard time in Germany. So let's hear what they have to say.
Okay.
Here we go.
No, we definitely do.
Good, and you met in Bayern Munich, well, when you both played there at the same time. How has life changed for both of you, individually and as a couple, since the Bayern Munich days?
Football wise, definitely. I mean, it's definitely nice being, for me, it's been nice being back in Britain again. Closer to family, mum and dad can come down more often. And I think just like the way of life, I just love the way of life in Britain. I think you take that for granted. Germany's very like
Strict.
so it's very strict and very regimented, and you kind of have to be, or our coach anyway, you kind of had to be like a robot and just kind of
You can be like, I think like for me, seeing Lisa back here in the UK and being at Arsenal, I just seen a complete different Lisa. Like she's open, she's like, as I said, like she's dancing, she's like having fun with everyone. Like in Munich that wasn't allowed, so like it was really hard for her to actually be the person she is. So
which I really struggle with, because obviously I'm the type of person that likes to get involved and is really loud, and
They didn't quite get you.
No,
So
they didn't get me,
free.
and I found that really hard. Obviously that then I feel like affected my football massively, but I mean obviously met Viv, so that was amazing.
So how did
I want to know if there's any people in Germany, if they're watching.
Right.
I want them to comment down below.
Okay.
Is this the German
Way, or is that just his
German
coach?
way?
The coach.
Or is it just German football?
Yeah.
Or is it Germany altogether?
Or is this just the coach in
'Cause,
Germany
like,
who was their coach at that
Yeah.
time? Hearing Lisa say and Viv say Lisa couldn't be herself because you had to be a robot. Through mostly that coach necessarily, or the German way they did things, but she had to be a robot. We know Lisa. We know how.
She ain't no robot.
Yeah. We know how like friendly she is and how outgoing she is.
Lively, bubbly.
She literally could not be herself, and I understand it to the point.
Sorry, I'm showing my boobs.
I understand. I understand that to a point of you have to. If your boss says he wants you a certain way, you can't just decide. No, I'm not going to do it the way the boss says. I mean, maybe, but she really. It probably took all the wind out of her sails to say, I can't be who I want to be. I have to be a robot in this. Okay, I just have to get through this.
The story of my life.
I know. I know.
I have to pretend to be normal
Yeah.
when I'm out in public in front of people. And then when I come home, I can be my crazy self.
But the difference is you are self-deciding to do that. No one's telling you.
Well, I can't just say crazy things at work in
Yeah.
front of people.
Yeah.
So I think it's society. No,
But
yeah,
that's
I
hard.
know.
It would be hard for Lisa to say, "Hey, can't be yourself."
Yeah,
and that affects her
especially-
play.
Right. No, I totally get that. I relate with what she's saying. Totes.
Sucks.
Just like when you have, if you have like an intense, scary teacher.
Yes.
A lot of people can relate to that.
You can't be yourself.
It's like you can't be yourself. It might affect
You're always
your work.
scared.
Yeah, you're always scared to make a mistake or anything, and
Affect
like
your work. Yeah.
yeah, or even bosses. You know, luckily I've had some good bosses.
Yeah. Or even they're so hard on you. It's almost like you don't even care anymore. Whatever. You're not never gonna be happy, so why care? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's hard. That kind of thing is hard. Okay. So this next clip at the very end, they talked about that's where you met Viv. So we're gonna find out who put the moves on who. Where did that come from? Interesting. And
think we
because
already
we've never
know.
really heard. I've never really heard this.
I think we already know.
And here we go.
you two meet then? Who put the move on who?
Who put the move on who?
It was all me.
It was on Viv.
Definitely not.
I mean, Oktoberfest works miracles, so let's just keep it there.
No, definitely. I'm a lightweight, so I wouldn't be surprised.
And it's been love ever since. You're moving into a new house just now. You're getting a lot of work done.
It's
Pretty much.
very close now.
Very close,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously, like with COVID coming in and that, it's took a long time for us to actually move in, but
I don't think we'll be renovating anytime soon, that's
No.
for sure.
definitely not. But
It'll
it's
be
gonna
worth
look
it.
amazing.
It'll be worth it
Yeah.
once we're in. It'll be so nice.
Talk to me about your future together. Do you see it here? Will football take you anywhere? Are you at that stage where you want to settle down in one place now?
I'm a bit younger, so maybe Lisa needs to answer this question.
Not that. I'm very young. I'm more young-hearted than you are, by the way.
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
very young at heart.
No, I
Yeah,
think
that's-
it's something that we'll just need to see. Like as we said, like we love being in the UK right now. I think the English league is going to be unreal. Like with all the players coming in, like I think it's going to be the strongest league, and I hope Arsenal as a club is going to keep moving forward. I think that's what we need, especially if you see what Chelsea, Man City is doing right now, and we'll just take it from there. Like we obviously bought a house here, so we always have this to fall back on. But as I said, I'm open to move to Scotland later as well. I'm happy to go back to Holland.
Play for Celtic.
Play for Celtic.
Just imagine.
I mean, I'd love it.
Okay, so they talked about who put the moves on who, and Viv jokingly
Did they ever
said,
say?
she jokingly said, I put the moves on her during Oktoberfest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I thought Lisa put the moves on.
Oh, someone left in our comment section.
I saw that in an interview somewhere that she...
I saw it in our comment section. Someone left a comment, and I wish I had it in front of me, but it says something to the fact that when they first got together, it wasn't obviously public when you first get together, but Lisa was already an out lesbian, and they noticed Viv always hanging around Lisa, and then finally it was like, okay, now it's a thing after it being kind of like not a thing, but now it's a thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that Lisa's 4 or 5 years older than Viv, you know what I mean? So there's that dynamic. But so you thought you read somewhere that Lisa was the one who put the moves on Viv. You think you read that?
Didn't we see that in a video or something?
Not that I remember, but we could have. But she said they also
Parallel universe.
Right.
Must have seen it there.
So they're also saying they bought a house together. I mean, that's major. I don't know if it's different in the Europe, but I know in America, a lot of times people wait till they're married to buy a house or whatever. It's hard with gay couples. Gay people can only get married in the last 10 years, so that's almost like doesn't even matter for gay couples.
But I think, how long have they been together?
Like
Wow,
5
right?
years.
Yeah. The fact that they like have the money to do it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like not. It's like, oh, let's buy a house. Buy any house they want to. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But they just seem so in sync with each other. You know what I mean? And it seems like they're both on the same page with stuff. You know what I mean? They feel so comfortable with each other, and who talked to each other first. I mean, I love that. Bill was a lot younger, so that'd be funny if she did make the move.
Ballsy.
Yeah, isn't it? Viv is really famous in Holland, so let's hear about them having a lot of
I
fans.
love Holland.
I know.
Let's move there.
I know, so pretty.
Okay.
You've been there.
What? Yeah, I have.
Yeah. What?
I've
Did you
been
forget? Okay, here we go.
So you guys have so many wonderful fans that they're just hilarious, and they absolutely bat for you 100%. It must be lovely to get that feedback though, and people just idolize you like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's something like I think you had to get used to. Like, I think especially in Holland, like we said it by being back at home, like sometimes I didn't feel like we could actually go out to actually do something, because without even being
It's
out
the
on the
Bieber.
streets for like 5
I know.
minutes, people would come up to me and be like, oh, can we have a picture? And then like
I was
Lisa
flooded in Scotland
yeah.
as well, by the way. Just the masses of people just trying to get them away. You know, it's
Absolute
just,
idol.
But I think Lisa was really surprised by that, to be honest. Like, it was the first time that you
couldn't
actually
believe it.
seen that. Like, and even like obviously like in the time you had off, like we were home with my brother, we wanted to go out for a night, and like just the moment I would even have like a pint, like people would just make pictures and like upload that, and I was like, whoa, like this is actually new for me as well.
Yeah.
So it does take a bit of time to actually get used to it, but it's obviously amazing when you see all the fans like off the pitch at Bottomwood or like in the national team stadiums, like to just that they are there for us is really special. It's amazing. We're not that big yet as the men's footballers, but I can't even imagine how they feel.
You obviously know this already, but I did when I was doing my research earlier on today. See that you've scored.
I think she's on that Justin Bieber status.
Yeah, she's.
What?
I've asked people in the comments. I go, when you say Vivianne Miedema, do people know that? Like you say Alex Morgan in America, every single person, even people don't even know, or Megan Rapinoe. Those are the two most famous names for me and him. Do you know those people? And most people you say, yes, I know those names. I go to people, I've asked people from the Netherlands, when they say Vivianne Miedema, do they know? And they say yes.
People scream her name.
Yeah.
They should put up a statue of her.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably will. She has more goals than any man or woman.
Yeah, do it.
So it's
I'll
like
put the money toward it.
Yeah, totally.
Well, it's fundraising.
Fundraising, GoFundMe down below. But they talk about how, and in this interview as well, they talk about how, you know, we think about American football as not being popular at all. Or we talk about American soccer. It's, on the whole, is not very popular. The women's national team is popular as soccer has ever been here in the States, in my opinion. But you think about Holland or the Netherlands, or even worldwide, well, no, of course women's soccer is popular there because soccer's popular there.
Yeah,
but what
it's
I'm
been
finding,
forever.
but what I'm actually finding out is even though men's football has been so popular overseas, that there is a disconnect between the men's game and the women's game. The women's fans who are fans of the women, they still get, oh, that's not real football. Oh, they suck. Oh, watch the men's. Oh, we love men's football, but we poop on the women's teams. You know what I mean? So that disconnect of, you would think, oh, it's going to be so big there. It's still not like we would think it would be as Americans. And that's one thing I actually learned, that the Americans that overseas it's not as respected as I thought it was. But what they talked about in this interview is no, Vivianne, when she played in the Euros, in the World Cup, it was kind of like, before then it was a few thousand fans, 5,000 fans. Now it's sold out every time. Cool. You know, and to be that famous and to be that, and Vivianne, it's hard for her to be, I'm famous, I'm the most famous, one of the most famous footballers now.
I mean, I can relate.
Yeah. You're famous.
I mean, I can't walk outside without being recognized. They're like, oh my god, you're Sarah from Sarah. And I'm like, I am, okay.
But the difference is that you like it. Vivianne, I don't think.
I was just joking.
Oh, okay. So, you know, Vivianne, she just says that she's getting used to that. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, I'm a famous footballer that has fans and who love me. It's like, it's weird, but she says she's getting to know that. So, based on that clip, it's like, she likes it, but it's still like she wants to have her beer and say, okay. So this next clip is going to be about, even though they're in a relationship, do they push each other? Like, would they say, hey, you weren't doing good on the pitch today? So let's see what they have to say about that.
How do you encourage each other? I mean, like you say, you keep your football and relationship, you're able to switch that off. But if you ever see that Viv's not pulling her weight, or if Viv doesn't see that Lisa's not pulling her weight, do you confront each other?
Nah, definitely. I think we're really honest and open about that. It's not that we say like, oh, Viv's doing amazing. Like, I'll be the first person to say like, oh, you need to get your finger out today. Like, that wasn't good enough. And she'll be the same for me, which is really good. We do have a really honest relationship that way, and I think that's important, isn't it?
I think like I just treat Lisa as just one of my like mates on the pitch, if that makes sense. Like, I don't treat her as like, oh, she's my girlfriend, so I need to be extra nice to her. Like, I obviously, like, I know what capabilities Lisa has. Like, she's an amazing footballer, but if she doesn't show it, like, I'll tell her. And it's the other way around too, and it's the same. Like, I'm a bit like, I'm always just like dreaming in the gym. Like, I'm just sitting on a box, basically just staring at other people doing the weights. And then Lisa's like, come on, Viv, get up, do something. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. Like, I'm on my way. But like, I think that's just what we need. And I think obviously because I respect her so much, like as a person and as a footballer, I take it in from what she's saying to me. So it only helps me to be a better player. And I hope it helps her obviously as well. As I said, like, I just see her as one of the girls, like on the pitch. That's a good thing, I think.
So that's always the question we ask, you know. Obviously we know that they're going to try their hardest to be just teammates. Their personal relationship isn't
that's the answer I expected.
Exactly. So. That's the answer you expected. But I will say, when they push each other, like saying, hey, you weren't doing what you could do today, you know, that communication is key. I'm sorry, I still am biased to the fact, I think that's a very female way of talking, the communication aspect of it. And I think when lesbian couples say it to each other, it's more, you understand it more than if a man saying that to a woman or a woman saying that to a man.
It's almost like encouraging them.
Yeah.
Like, you're good, but you could do this better.
Yeah.
You could work on your game this way or whatever.
I don't think men and women have that same communication aspect that two women have, or even two men. So I think that really helps them to say, let's communicate. I still think two women communicate way better than a man and a woman, or even a man and a man. I think women communicate best with each other to let each other know how they're really feeling. Do you agree?
Well, I communicate like King Kong and the Hulk.
She does. She's the Hulk. And I know what it means too. Okay, so I thought that was so interesting. They can tell each other, but I like Viv's just kind of like, la, 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 and Lisa's like, okay, let's get up. Yeah. Let's move it or lose it. Okay, so they're going to answer, what was a top night for you? What's your guys' top night for you two? Like, what would you guys do? Would you go out to eat? Would you go bowling? What would you do?
Eating. Wonder what that's like.
Eating's when you put it in your mouth, you go, you go,
oh,
that's eating.
That's foreign to me. I don't know what that's like.
Never done that before.
I don't know what I'm gonna have for dinner. Okay.
I know. Okay, and here we go.
What is the idea of a top night for you two?
Top night.
Watching football.
Who do you support?
Loves football.
I'm a Feyenoord fan in Holland.
Okay.
And I've obviously, like with Van Persie going to Arsenal, I've actually been an Arsenal fan, but I really enjoy watching Liverpool these days too. So I always say, like, I want Arsenal to do well because I play for Arsenal. I was an Arsenal fan when I was younger. I had like all their tops and that. But I just like good football. Like, that's the type of person I am. Like, I'd literally watch any game. Like, I think Lisa got
Every
really
game under
pissed
the
off.
sun, like Inter Milan, Torino, whatever. Like,
Yeah, so basically any game. That's basically what I do in my off time.
Yeah, I do that too because I get made to. Nah, we do like other stuff. We love like meeting up with the girls, meeting up with friends, spending time with family, going for a coffee.
Like going into London and seeing things as
definitely.
well. Like, I've played in Munich, I've played in London now. Like, you want to see the cities, you want to see the culture. we've been away to Oxford, like just day trips or like just 2 days away. Like it's just nice to switch off. So that's the things that basically if like we've got time to actually switch off, we go somewhere because that's then football's gone. So then we don't watch football either.
What about TV series or film? What's your favourite?
God, that's a good question. We love like a chick flick. We watched Notting Hill the other night.
Oh,
But I love
Classic.
Pretty Woman. Like that's like just classics. That's what I like. We actually watched American Pie the other night too. That was great.
I don't really get stuck in series or anything. I love Friends, by the way. I think Friends is my to go to.
yeah. It always just as a pick me up, regardless of how you feel.
That's it. That's it. It's so
Nothing
easy
else
to
on
watch.
Friends.
Yeah.
Most famous.
Friends is her favorite show, Sarah, of all time.
Wow. I think me and Viv need to like hook up for a play date.
Watch
Like we're babies.
and watch
so
Friends.
I'm gonna reach out to her mom. She can reach out to my mom, and we can arrange a play date.
for you
Where we
too.
watch Friends, and we become friends.
Because in that one video from the We Play Strong, they were watching Friends in the background. Remember?
Oh, yes.
They were watching Friends. So you'd say Friends is your first show, but they said, like Viv said, if they have 2 days where they could just go out, like a day trip, like that's what they like to do. We like that idea too. Sarah and I really don't like traveling. We don't like staying in hotels. But
Day trips are lit.
day trips are great.
They're the
Like
best. You don't have to pack.
no, yeah.
You just like take a snack or whatever
Yeah.
you're doing.
And in New England, where we live
great.
now, there's a lot of day trips. We used to live in the middle of Nebraska, or Nebraska. There was no day trips.
Yo, I just wrote an essay on Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And that place holds a little
Yeah.
bit of my heart.
It does. That's like her.
That creepy place.
That's her aesthetic. Definitely her favorite time of
Ain't
year.
no witch though.
It's okay.
No witches here.
No witches here.
Just bitches.
So yeah, they just want to hang out. They said hang out with the girls. They have a lot of mutual friends, and they hang out with the family. Like Sarah and I never hang out with friends and never hang out with family, like ever.
Well, we're a little secluded here in
We are.
New England.
No,
New England.
I think we're such loners with each other that like we just have fun with each other. But yeah, so they just like to hang out, you know, with friends, family. They seem so in sync. Okay, those are all clips we're gonna listen to. That interview was so good, wasn't it? I think you just really heard a lot.
Yeah, it was good.
And I'm going to link it down below, but they talk a lot about the women's game in general, getting it more popular, where they stand with it, making it better than it was, them wanting to be the best, Viv having a lot of pressure overall. So it's a really good interview. If you like Viv, if you like Lisa, you gotta listen to it. Moving into a house together.
Can we move in, please?
I know. Do you guys need like a live-in au pairs or maids or
Or
something?
nannies?
Nanny. They don't have any animals, I don't think.
Yes.
Because Wands has a puppy.
Yeah.
Samson has a kitty.
I wonder if we're gonna get a dog when we get a house.
I don't think so.
No.
We
Maybe.
watch too many TikToks where the dog has destroyed the house, or they'll eat your
Oh,
cameras.
yep. You're right. I can't.
Maybe we'll get one of those dogs that don't chew anything, or like a really old
One
dog.
that has its jaw wired shut.
We gotta go.
Okay.
Questions, comments down below. What did you guys think? Did you guys like this interview? What do you think of Vivianne or Viv's accent that Sarah's obsessed with?
Yeah, they're definitely couples goals.
Look at the cute outfit Viv's wearing right there.
Oh.
I love the way she wears clothes.
I was wondering who those people were.
Questions, comments down below. Talk to you later. Questions, comments down below. Talk to you later.